come on back to my birthday party. He is an award-winning columnist and feature writer. But that step aside, he also writes for Mad Magazine. Yes, he does. And did hundreds of stories for the nearly departed Gonzo supermarket tabloid, the Weekly World News. He also has a China travel blog you should check out called 15hoursinthefuture.com. Put your hands together for Stan Sinberg.
Well, if you've lived in the Bay Area for any length of time, and you've ever told a story where something bad happens, there's roughly a 100% chance that somebody has said to you, everything happens for a reason. Ironically, nobody knows the reason that happens. And people don't say it, when they say it, they don't say it like I would mean it, like, yeah, the reason it happened is because you're a fucking asshole. They mean it more like it's a spiritual thing, like the universe is unfolding, it's trying to tell you something. Yeah, it's telling me not to talk to you anymore, is what it's telling me. So I would like to tell you a formative story that happened many years ago that crystallized my view of this adage. In 1972, I was going to college in New York City, and every autumn I would hitchhike up to Vermont for a few days to hike the Appalachian Trail to see the foliage. And then I would recuperate for a couple of days at Middlebury College at the Bucolic campus in central Vermont. And this particular year, when I got there, the student aides were on campus, but the students weren't arriving for another week yet. But somehow I came into possession of a book of photos of incoming freshmen. The photographs were postage stamp size, black and white photos, about 18 to a page. And underneath each picture had the student's name and their country of origin. And I'm thumbing through it, and suddenly on page 39, I see this vision of loveliness. These long golden tresses cascading down her back, this winsome come-hither smile. And the photos that were next to it started fading away and blurring. And her picture started shimmering, and it lifted off the page, and it expanded to fill my whole field of vision. And there were these little Cupid babies with arrows and marks. And her name was Ingrid Young, and she was from Germany, and I was totally smitten. In the next 30 seconds, I concocted a backstory for Ingrid that was as convincing to me as it was arbitrary and far-fetched. I decided that Ingrid had never been to the United States. This was her first time coming directly from Germany to college in Middlebury. Secondly, she was arriving by ocean liner. Because apparently I confused 1972 with 1887. And third, she spoke not a word of English, which would put her at a tremendous academic disadvantage. So much that you would think that it might put a little hole in my narrative, but it only made me more enamored of Ingrid because I decided that she showed tremendous pluck. So I decided to have to meet her. So I went back to New York and I wrote her a letter and I addressed it Ingrid Young, Middlebury College, and I sent it off. Surprisingly, Ingrid didn't write back. Now, I thought it was a pretty good letter. So I figured what must have happened is, you know how some languages have double negatives? I figured whoever translated the letter to Ingrid in German got mixed up and translated it like, "Dear Ingrid, I don't want to meet you." And I thought, how stupid is that? Why would I go to all this trouble to write a letter, "I don't want to meet you"? And I got really pissed off at this imaginary translator. I decided, okay, I'm going to have to go up and meet her myself. So I didn't know where she was, so I figured what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up on a Friday night, and there'll be a lot of people coming in and out of the girls' dorm. I will plant myself outside the dorm all night, and when I see someone flitting in or out who resembles a postage stamp-sized photo in black and white of Ingrid, I'll shout, Ingrid, Ingrid, come here, I want to meet you. And instead of being freaked out that there's this long-haired hippie guy waving crazily at her and shouting at her in a language that she doesn't understand, Ingrid will be transfixed. And she'll walk slowly towards me, and our eyes will interlock, and it will be love at first sight. And we'll spend the rest of the weekend with me teaching her fluent English, and her making reparations for what her people did to mine. To this day, I am against the legalization of marijuana, because I tell this to my stoner friends in the student union, and they all think this plan sounds fantastic. I had one friend who did a lot of LSD, and he said he was proud of me for having the courage to follow my delusions. So I hitchhike up to Middlebury, and I get there on a Friday night, it's a little after 8 o'clock, and I walk through the campus. Now, it's 1972. The security is basically a freshman girl at the front desk of the security. And I walk in, and she sees that I have a backpack, and we start talking a little bit. She's got a backpack, I'm a little tired. She says, she offers me to sit down for a little while in the lobby. So after about 20 minutes, I see there's nobody really coming in and out. So I wonder if maybe, so I asked her if there's like some big event where all the students are that night. And she answers me in this exact words. She says, I don't know, but I get off in 5 minutes, and you can ask the next girl, Ingrid Young. Now, I've thought of this answer hundreds of times. Why would she add those last 2 words, Ingrid Young? Why wouldn't you just say, you can ask the next girl? I've asked directions in my life thousands of times. This is the only time, before or since, that someone has seen fit to include the name of the stranger of whom I should ask directions. I don't know. Why don't you go ask Joe Smith over there? Joe Smith can tell you. So I'm thinking, wow, if everything happens for a reason, this is exhibit A, B, and C. The timing and her mentioning Ingrid's name. Ingrid and I were destined for each other. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, Ingrid comes down. She's nothing like what I imagined. She's wearing a cotton t-shirt and blue jeans, and she speaks perfect English with no accent. But I'm so tied to my narrative, because I'm thinking, wow, she learned perfect English in 3 weeks with no accent. So we start talking, but I don't tell her who I am, because I don't know if she got my letter, and also because I was into superhero comics, and I thought, for a short time here, it's my one chance to have a secret identity. I'm not just like a mild-mannered hitchhiker. I'm secret admirer man, strange stalker from another state. But I'm giving her hints, and after about 45 minutes, she goes, are you? And I go, yeah. And she goes, wow, I got your letter, I really liked it. There was just one thing I didn't understand. Why would you go to all that trouble and then say, I don't want to meet you? Okay. That part didn't happen. But we're talking, and it's going really well. And then it's 11 o'clock, and she says, well, it's time for me to get off, and now the next girl is coming on, Debbie Ford. So Ingrid and I go for a walk, and we walk through the town it's a beautiful night, and the stars are all out, and we walk past a babbling brook, and it's kind of romantic, and I'm going, wow, this is unbelievable. This is really happening. And I walk her back to her dorm, and she doesn't invite me in, because she has a roommate, and she didn't want to. And then she tells me that the next day she's leaving to go to Tennessee for the weekend to go visit her boyfriend with whom she lived for 2 years. This was sort of a salient detail that missed my backstory. But she said that we should keep in touch and to get a good time. So we do. We write to each other for a couple of months. And after a couple of months, she says that she's going back. She's leaving Middlebury and she's going to go back to Tennessee and live with her boyfriend. And then, as what I took as kind of like a tribute to my sleuthing and tracking skills, she wrote, P.S. Don't come. And that's kind of it. Now, some of you are probably thinking, okay, Stan, that was a mildly amusing story, but it's kind of pointless because the story ends exactly where it began. Nothing changed for you. You end up exactly where you started from. And I would say, well, that's kind of the point. Because if ever there was a story where everything happens for a reason, this is that story. But nothing happened. Everything happened for no reason. For about 10 years. In 1982, I go to visit my friend in Colorado, and I've told this story to my friends. So when I get to Colorado, my friend's brother says that he knows Ingrid Young. She lives there now. He told her I was coming, and she wants to meet me. Well, what are the odds of this? And I'm thinking, you kooky universe. You may take your sweet-ass time, but everything happens for a reason. So the next day, we meet in a group, and there's Ingrid, and we trail behind, and we're starting to talk, and everything is going really, really well. But it's 10 years later, we're in different parts of our lives, and after we say goodbye, we never see each other again. And that's the end of the story. A story in which everything happens for no reason twice.
Amazing story.